Hello and welcome to a special presentation from In the Money Media. Peter Thomas Fornatal back with you. Hello out there, whether you're watching this as a live stream or checking it out on demand, maybe on the In the Money Media YouTube channel. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe so you don't miss any of our exclusive content. Very happy to welcome back to the show a man whose opinion about Santa Anita, about races generally, is as respected as anybody's out there. He's got a great new project we're going to tell you about. And if you want much more, not just on this Santa Anita card, but also on Keeneland and Aqueduct on Saturday, you're going to want to check out dukespicks.com. It's going to be a full live stream there, getting into high points from all those races. I'm lucky enough to be joining him there. Go to dukespicks.com. Check out your various subscription options. You can use the promo code ITM10 for more. But with that out of the way, let's start talking about this Santa Anita Derby Day late pick 5. Duke Matties, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Pete. It's always a pleasure to be on your show.
Well, let's get into this card, my friend. I didn't schedule you to talk about the Santa Anita Oaks. I don't know if you've looked at it yet. It's not in the late pick 5. I thought it was fairly straightforward, but did you get a chance to have a look at it?
Yeah, I took a look at that race. The weird horse, I mean, Meaning's the obvious horse in there, but the weird horse in there is French Blue. Now, French Blue, I bet on last time in the Santa Isabel. French Blue outworked forced entry last time and outworked forced entry again this time very easily. But forced entry beat French Blue last time, so I'm kind of confused. French Blue might be a morning glory, but if that blinkers off, maybe, I don't know. She really did work well. So if you watch that workout, go watch her blow forced entries doors in, and who knows what'll happen in the race.
Yeah, though sometimes a workout is different than a race, but often very telling. You do a great job. That's one of the things you'll get to hear your insights about all over dukespicks.com is your subjective thoughts on how these works play out, things that aren't going to be in any racing form or even any clogger report because you're doing your own work on them. Let's get to the regularly scheduled programming, which kicks off with race number 8. We've got Calbred stakes action here in the form of the Evening Jewel. What did you think of this one, Duke?
I got nothing tricky here. I think the Mohaven, just looks like the best horse on paper. Sadler's Barn finally has woken up a little bit. He was pretty cold for a long period of time. He won about 3 races in the last 2 weeks, so maybe even 4 or 5. But he's that horse just looks like she's got him. If unless something goes wrong, another 0-5. Nice maiden win. Could go forward. If she steps forward, maybe she could beat her, but I got nothing tricky there. For a long shot, maybe Lino's Angel. Her last dirt race was pretty good. Weird that they go to Victor Espinoza, which Tyler Bays has ridden it almost every time it's run. Slightly interesting horse for a long shot.
7, 5, and 2. I liked it 5, 7. Maybe I'm overcomplicating it, and I have some favorites later in the sequence I wanted to include Mohaven, but I did think another 0 had a nice progressive profile and might have the club in the bag to maybe get the right kind of trip in here. We'll see how it all plays out as we kick off the pick 5, and then we will continue it with race number 9, where we've got Calbreds again. This time it's a 1 mile on the turf allowance race. Duke, I'll throw the ball right back in your court. Who do you like in here?
Extremely tricky race with a lot of speed in it. So on paper, anyway, there's like 4 speed horses in here: the 1, the 2, the 5, and the 9, I believe. All seem to want to be up close or on the lead. So I was looking for closers. I went with King of Dragons. I thought King of Dragons ran the best in that Keating Thunder race. She was wide, or he was wide, and gets top leading ride, gets JJ Hernandez this time. Not that that's an upgrade from Hector Barrios, but I don't know. I just think just going with the horse that ran best in that race. Prince Dolce ran good in that race also. I think that horse is a must use. I don't think you'll see 12-1 on Prince Dolce. That just seems way too high. If Call Me Sir wasn't in a 12 post, that probably would be the horse I like. But as you know, 12 posts at Santa Anita, going a mile on the turf, that is almost impossible to win at.
Yeah, not easy at all. We had the same 2 horses. I think we read the common race very similarly. Wow. Thought they both had trips in there and just thought they would potentially trip out today. King of Dragons just feels like horse that's been unlucky. And Prince Dolce, I mean, granted, maybe I was a little bit also suckered in seeing the 12-1 on the morning line. That was part of the attraction there, but I thought that horse could have gone closer in there watching it back. 8 and 10 for both of us. Would you use a horse like the 12 as a deep backup on some tickets, or are you willing to toss completely given that?
I think the 12 needs a couple scratches, right? I think if like one or two of those speed horses scratches, like either the 2 or the 1 or the 9, if any 2 out of those 3 scratch, then I think I'm throwing the 12 in. Otherwise, I'm going to let him beat me because he'll be overbet. Because I mean, he has good form, but you know what that's like. He's going to go 4 wide into the first turn, and they just don't win. I mean, they got to be 3 or 4 lengths the best, and I don't know if he's that good. There's some long shots that I think can get in if you're playing supers or tries. I think Speed of Elon is an interesting long shot. Gets a slight rider upgrade. I'm not a huge Tiago Pereira fan, but I'm less of a fan of Kyle Frey. So, and that horse had no pace to run at, was last in kind of a slow pace in that race, that Keating Thunder. So just giving it a shot as maybe a trifecta horse.
I mean, at 30-1, if that one gets in there, you could really potentially light things up. So I don't blame your way of thinking one bit. Let's get to the hinge of this late pick 5. It's the race that gives the day its name. Grade 1, Santa Anita Derby. Who's your idea of the winner, my friend?
I got to go with the 1, Cherokee Nation, the big speed figure. We got that race extremely fast. I'm not sure who else has it that fast, but
it's quick all around.
Is it? Yeah. I mean, I have to live and die with these because when they're that fast, I just want to see it again. But I don't think we're going to get that short a price to see it again. So I think he might be in the 3-1 range, that horse, or maybe even a little higher. So it was on Lasix. That worries me a little bit, but it is Bob Baffert. I think he can probably get this horse to run good without the Lasix. So I'm sticking with him. I don't care for Intrepido that much. I know a lot of people are picking Intrepido. He didn't run bad, but where's he been? Why is he off 2 months? And I don't like when they miss these races in between. So I'm sticking with Cherokee Nation, the 1.
I get it. That was JK's pick. We did a whole video on this. Folks might want to check out elsewhere on the In the Money Media YouTube channel. He did make the Lasix point that you did, but the one thing that I was intrigued about by him, almost by accident, maybe it'll be a useful thing having that fast win against maidens, the idea of a horse being able to like build confidence, presumably for that maiden, didn't have to be as cranked as he would have been for another bigger Derby type prep. Maybe he comes here just that little ounce fresh with that fast figure. I think he makes a lot of sense. I don't mind So Happy at all in this spot. I thought that, and you tell me what you think, because this is largely your game. I think it was info I picked up from Timeform US. Looked like, or Racing Flow, it was one or the other, had that day as not a day where it was the easiest to be on the lead. I thought maybe you could forgive that a little bit. Maybe at a bigger price this time, they give So Happy some rope after he came back in the common race last time. Can you see that one if you squint?
Well, when you look at this race, I really don't know who's going to get the lead. Did you have a good idea of who's going to make the lead in here?
I thought they'd done. Now, I know it's not necessarily Mike Smith's MO, but I thought So Happy would make the top in here.
That would help him. I think that would help him.
My whole case, really.
If he makes the lead, that's a whole different ball. I was kind of thinking Baffert might send Cherokee Nation.
Team tactics could be in play anytime he has two.
Yeah, and I know they're going to sit with the other one because it worked. They're going to sit with Potente because they think, it did work, and and he's the favorite, so I think they're going to do the same thing. So I think he might put the 1 on the lead. If they send So Happy's fast enough to make the lead, no doubt about it. He's got good pace figures. The one thing that worried me with So Happy is was a workout. He lost the workout to a maiden. Mm-hmm. Now, the maiden is in on this card, and his name is Duke Silver, which I love the name, but
punch play.
But you might want to play Duke Silver because he worked with So Happy. I think it's more the other way around, not that So Happy worked with Duke Silver, that kind of thing.
Right. Yes, for sure. Very interesting. You expressed your cynicism to some degree about Intrepido. Any others at a bit of a price to get in the mix in the Santa Anita Derby?
Robusta definitely can. He added blinkers last time. I thought he ran a very good second. He's right. All those horses are kind of right there. Robusta barely beat So Happy. Potente barely beat Robusta. I kind of like Robusta out of the three just because he's the highest price.
Right. And they were so close on
And
the
Doug's
line
been
there
out.
with stories to tell. What did you have any note on the racetrack in that prep race that the three came out of, or did you think it was fair?
I thought I thought it was pretty fair that day. I didn't label it anything. I think there was a little bit of a wind that day, I think, but I don't know how that factors into Santa Anita. I think it was like a crosswind, but
interesting.
But now, no bias. I just think Robusta will be the one that'll go overlooked, and Doug O'Neill's been super hot. So, I mean, why not?
Cherokee Nation, though, the confident top selection there, it sounds like. Let's move to the final stakes race on the card. Grade 3 action for the fillies and mares on turf in the Monrovia. I'm boring, so I'm just going to spit out my boring opinion, which, and your blind man could see this one. Queen Maxima, going to take a lot of beating in here. Can you come up with any reason to oppose her?
I don't. I hate to pick, a 4 to 5 morning line favorite, but I don't think this field may not be as good as, the horses she's been beating already. So I don't know. I didn't like the workout on Tyrupati. She got outworked by a maiden that's in the last, High Society U. Love Appeals race last time was dull. I don't understand why they ship out here off that. I thought that was very strange. And, the day that Queen Maxima beat Princesa Moche got an easy lead, and Queen Maxima still beat her. So I can't see her.
Yep.
Can't see her turning the table. So where do you go? I mean, there's nowhere to go.
From a wagering point of view, is it a single and move on in picks? Is it make you want to avoid any sequences? Do you think about potentially getting something at a price in underneath?
It's a 90% probably one where 90% single, and then maybe, I don't know. The problem is I don't know where to go. I think I would use 3, 6, 7 maybe if I was using others, but I'm not confident in any of them. So it's not a betting race for me because I'm not gonna put Queen Maxima on top of horses that I don't have a great opinion on. So it's hopefully get by the pick 5 with the 1 or a small backup ticket, maybe
like C-level type horses compared to the clear A there. This last race pays off so many bets, and it pays off a lot of bets that I want to talk about for a minute. The Sunset 6, this one will conclude. Bet we love, combining the last 3 at Gulf with the last 3 at Santa. The turf, the all-turf pick 3 that starts in race 9. We'll have gone over all 3 of those races in this sequence. That pays off here, has that high minimum, low takeout, very player-friendly combinations. Same thing in the late pick 3 and also the late double. These are great bets for horse players to be looking into at Santa Anita. If you're not at least considering them, you're doing it wrong. I know these are bets that you're a fan of too, Duke, for the fact that, they don't afford some of the computer players as big of an advantage as in some other places.
Yeah, love the late pick 3. I've been playing the Sunset a little bit here and there. It just depends if Gulfstream has Durf and Turt races. I don't play the poly ones there, so that kind of ruins me sometimes. But love the wagers. Love the higher minimums. I think people should just keep getting more and more involved in those because that's how you make some money at Santa Anita these days.
Yeah, they're good. They're good pools to fish in, that's for sure. We close things out with 3-year-old fillies, 6.5 furlongs. These maidens. You mentioned one that I like. I like 2 obvious ones, so I'll just go ahead and throw them out there. High Society U made sense as a horse that ran with some solid credit on debut, and Somerset West had one of those runs on debut where it just looked like something was clicking halfway through the race. Looked a little bit clueless out of there and then seemed to understand the job. Finished just in behind High Society U. Another thing I liked about Somerset West is at 15-1 there, or whatever she was, not much was expected either. I think this time expectations will be much higher, and she makes a ton of sense. So I'm chalking out 4-11 to close it out. You like those, or you like something at a price?
I can't blame you. Somerset West, I think, for all the things you said, I think you got to remember that was during a time when Sadler wasn't doing so well either. So I think the horse will probably even run better, and it gets a huge rider upgrade to Frey Sue. I mean, that horse kind of just she looks too good. It's one of those ones that looks like, and then she still got to beat High Society U, who beat her last time. So, and High Society U was in the pace, and Jonathan Thomas pretty good second time out. So, you got to you have to get really crafty to get past those two. And I don't think it's gonna happen, but Daring Pursuit, maybe. I thought she ran okay, going a mile, cuts back, but she doesn't have enough speed. That's her biggest problem. But she's probably more like a trifecta horse. And then there's one workout horse that I thought worked pretty good, but it's not a great first out trainer, and that's a 6 Subatomic Law. Drysdale just can't seem to get it done first time out anymore. And I think maybe just watch that horse and look for it down the line. So just an interesting horse to maybe keep an eye on.
In terms of like the official selections, I'll send around to our In the Money Plus people. 11-4 as A's, 10 as a B. Don't even list the 6. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I wouldn't list the 6. I just want to let people know that I think that horse has some talent. And another horse that maybe also is Mad Dog, but they're not really selections. They're kind of like horses to watch.
Yeah.
It's always good for people to, watch certain horses, because this could be a key race. I think the 4 and 11 might be really nice horses. So look for the ones behind them, for the future. But for today, I think 11 with a slight edge over the 4, and that's pretty much all I'll probably use in the pick 5.
Game, set, match there in the late pick 5 at Santa Anita. Before I let you get out of here, you're talking about this approach, where you're looking at a race. You're not just looking for this race today. You're thinking about what might happen down the line. It's a little bit like a chess player's way of thinking about the races. Those are the kind of insights I know you're trying to bring people over at your site. Tell folks a little bit more about how your site works, what kind of different subscription options you have.
Yeah, so at dukespicks.com, we're doing some VIPs. A VIP is like you get everything. You get me. You can text. It's not text. You can message me with any question you might have. You get all my insights into whatever racetrack I'm looking at, which is a lot of them. You get picks. You get bias information. You get pretty much anything that I'm thinking about, and horses to watch for later. Key races, that kind of thing. We're doing that. That's if you want everything, and you get the live streams,
right,
which you're involved in. So it's a great value when you really look at it in the long term. We've had a lot of success. We've had a lot of guys that are doing very well. They're learning a lot of things. We do a featured track, and that's going to be very interesting. It's a lot less money. The featured track is going to be Keeneland this month. So anybody that loves Keeneland out there, I would get in on this featured track. Down the line, we're going to have Saratoga. So if you get used to just doing the featured track, I think that's a good thing. And then I put out a real small thing called the best bet. The best bet is just horses that I like on the weekend, horses that I also put in horses that I bet against. So there's best bet and bet against. And that's just a couple of horses a weekend that you can just key on or key off. So it's good for everybody, every angle of level of handicapper. You don't have to be the VIP. You can just do the best bet. You can do the featured track if you want to follow one track. But I recommend, if you want to learn it all, you go to VIP if you can afford it.
Dukespicks.com is the site. ITM10 gets you a discount. How'd you end up making out last weekend? I know you had good opinions because we did the show together, but that doesn't always translate to connecting the dots. How'd it work out for you?
It was pretty good. There were always a few hiccups in the wagering area, but picks were good. I had a lot of good feedback on that show, so I think people did well. All in all, I can't complain. You're not gonna hit them all, but you want to hit the ones that the one best bet won and the other best bet ran second, right? I think, and that's what's going to happen. So I mean, you can't win every best bet, but if you win a few, then you're doing pretty well.
You got to feel good about that. You got to make it count. You mentioned wagering strategy. That's something else I know a lot of people struggle with, but they love to get your insight. You've been in the wars for a couple decades on this now, and you can't help but learn something anytime you get to talk to Duke Matties. Duke, thank you so much for joining us here today. Bonus points to anybody out there within the sound of my voice who decides to join us. Depending on when you're watching this, I'm going to say tonight. But you can also catch the replay too anytime before these races on Saturday. The content is going to be relevant. Check that out. Get involved in the Sunset Six, the all turf pick 3, the late pick 3, the late double. Hopefully we've given you some ideas. Combine them with your own. Let us know in the comments what your best bet is on the Santa Anita Derby late pick 5. For Duke Matties, I'm Peter Thomas Fornatale. May you win all your photos.